partners who may have not yet completed the assignment lighting a light bulb, or who got feedback from me saying you needed to go back and complete the PDF. I realized when looking over this that some of you may have been confused about the assignment, so I'm going to walk you through this assignment step by step. So if you come here to this one, this was from last week, it was due November 5th, and you click it, you'll see that you have a PDF here, and you also have the circuit construction kit. This was the thing that would have been under the area where it says your work. Everyone had a copy of this. Disregard these bottom two things here. You need to fill out the PDF, and you have to use the circuit construction kit in order to do that. So you could go ahead and I would open this, and then it gives you a choice. Open in a new window is always a good thing to do. And then you need to make it so that you can type in this, or you can mark it up with your Logitech crayon. So you may need to download this. What I saw several students in the classroom doing was using the split screen. So they had this PDF in one screen, and then they opened up the circuit construction kit in the other. Now, I would recommend for this assignment using the intro. Just use the intro. And when you get here, you'll see that you have these components. These are the components over here on the left. This is what you're going to be playing around with if you haven't had a chance to do so yet. So all of the instructions are on the activity sheet. So the first thing to do is to explore. And you were just supposed to take 5 minutes to just explore it and play around with it, and then talk about it with a partner. At this point, this activity is past due, so you're going to kind of just have to go through it on your own, and you may be able to talk about it with someone at home, but we won't be having partners for this in the class at this point. Step 3, you had to complete the table. So you see here that there are 3 columns. The components, which are the parts you use to make a working pathway or a not working pathway, asking you, did your light bulb light, yes or no, and then any additional observations, like maybe how brightly the light bulb was burning, or what happened when you increased the voltage, just any observations that you make. So the first one, you had to do it. You had to build your circuit using 3 wires. So you could go ahead and drag 3 wires out, a light bulb, and a battery. And you had to try and put this together to make the light bulb light up. If you could do that, if you were able to do that, you would circle yes. If not, no. And then record any observations. Now down here, you were going to choose the components that you tried to use in order to make a pathway. So this time, maybe you took away one of the wires and you tried to do it with 2 wires, a light bulb and a battery. And so you would type that in or write it, 2 wires, 1 light bulb, and a battery. Did it work? Yes or no? Observations. Maybe it was a little different than the top because you only used 2 wires. Maybe not. Anything you observe. And then you have to do that again. So you're going to try something different. So maybe this time, you come and you try 2 wires, a light bulb, and 2 batteries. So, you just kind of play around with it and try different things and fill it in. Step 4, you had to draw one of your working pathways. So draw the how you arranged those components in order to make the light bulb light up. That was step 4. Now, step 5, turn and talk. So one of the questions that we ask is there more than one way to create a working pathway? And you probably would have discovered that up here in this table. Were you able to find more than one way to make it work? And then think to yourself, what did you notice about the successful pathways? What did they all have in common? That was a little bit of the conversation there. Step 6 was another table. Except this time we had 3 columns. We had how can you, So that's we're asking you a question. So how can you make the bulb brighter? And then you try and make the bulb brighter, and it says, what did you do? What did you do to make the bulb brighter? And then any other changes that you noticed. When you made the bulb brighter, did something else happen? You would write that there. What was the other effect of making the bulb brighter? Then you had to come down, and there was another question. How can you change the direction of the electrical current? So you're going to try and do whatever it is to play around with it, to change the direction or the flow of the electrical current. So, and I want to show you, now after you play around with this a bit, you probably are able to figure this out for yourself, but there are things you can do when you click the battery. You have some options there, and you're going to play around with this and see, is there a way that I can change the flow of the electrons? Right now you can see they're flowing from out of the negative terminal of the battery and through this circuit to light the light bulb, and then to the positive terminal. How can you change it? And when you changed it, did you notice anything else? And then is there any way to turn off the bulb without pushing pause? So this is where you might try and look for some of these other components. What else can you use in here to potentially turn the bulb off without pressing pause? So after you complete that table, we had another turn and talk. In order for the light bulb to light, what needs to happen? So think about that. What needs to happen for the light bulb to light? And then what components did every working pathway have? So every single working pathway had to have, I'm going to give you a hint, at least 3 components. What are the 3 components that you need? Once you've played around with the sim, you've filled out this paper, you should be able to answer the question thinking about those 3 components that every working pathway has. So it says in the box below, use your understanding to explain how a light bulb turns on. You can use words or pictures to help show what you know. So you could draw a diagram, or you could explain it in words. But I'm going to go ahead and give you a hint. There are 3 things that every working circuit needs to have. And you need to include that in your picture or your explanation. So for those of you who haven't completed this assignment, I hope that this video helps. Let me know if you have any additional questions.